The Mighty Whites podcast is recorded at the Medicine Room Studios. For more information, visit medicineroomstudios.com.
Hi and welcome to episode 19 of the Mighty Whites podcast. Once again, a reduced number unfortunately, but I'm joined from Portland, KC.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, everything all right your end?
Yeah, not too bad. It's the return of the original two-man power trip.
Yeah, I think that joke's been made every time there's been two of us now.
Yeah, I think it's the first time it's just been me and you since episode 1.
Yeah, I think so. I think the next time... In fact, what we should have done, and we aren't going to edit it because we can't bothered, but seeing as you're called Christian, I should have said I'm Edge.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, but well, we'll get straight into the football. I'm not sure, with you being in America, I'm not sure how much of them you got to see, but I think you probably got to see all of this one with times. 2-2 draw away at Derby. Lasogga and Alioski with our goals. Did you actually get to see this one?
Yeah, it worked out really well for me. We ended up having a snow day here on the Wednesday, so I was deliberating, because I work in the morning and the afternoon. So I was trying to deliberate beforehand if I was going to have to go to like a Starbucks or something just to watch the game. And then the heavens opened and it snowed, and so I was able to watch it from the comfort of my own apartment, which was lovely.
Yeah, cool. Well, I mean, we didn't start all that great. We were second best for most at first half, but Lasogga nicked us a good goal. Good cross from Dallas, and we'll give Cooper credit now. It was a really good ball to find Dallas in build-up, because he made an error later on that kind of cancelled it out. But I thought that we were going to go in 1-0 up, which would have been daylight robbery, really, to be honest.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but it's nice that Lasogga's still in a bit of form, even though he didn't score in the next one. So this was 4-5, I think, at this point, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's really picked up these last few weeks, even though we've not been playing great. His performances have been a lot better than they were probably before Christmas and just afterwards. I've still got horrible memories of his lack of anything at Newport. So, yeah, he seems to be putting himself about a bit more, and I don't know if that's because he's a little bit more settled in now. He looks like he's going to be starting regularly again. So, yeah, you can't really fault him in these last few games.
Well, yeah, with saying can't fault him, one place where you can fault him is their equaliser end at first half. Long, aimless ball. Cooper jumps for it, and Lawrence de Bock runs inside and cuts him out for no reason. Terrible header from Cooper, terrible positioning from de Bock. Andy Vyman, 6 yards out. Easy finish. But, we may as well get into de Bock now. I mean, for 65 minutes, this was about as bad a performance as you'll see.
Yeah, I was surprised that he was on for as long as he was. I could have easily seen him getting taken off at half-time. I think you kind of you have ruined him. I was blissfully unaware. I just assumed, just from what I'd seen of him, perfectly average championship fullback, makes a few mistakes, but got forward all right, and then you open Pandora's box, and now I realise how bad he is.
Yeah, it was quite a well-timed rant, wasn't it, to do it before the Derby game?
It was one of those, and the amount of times when you just see yourself or hear yourself sat there just going, fucking de Bock again! Just over and over.
Yeah, luckily, he had a pretty good, well, not pretty good, he had an okay last sort of 25 minutes, which dragged his performance from, like, the absurd into just really shit. It got him dropped anyway.
It wasn't enough to save him when he thought, best pull my finger out here, boys.
No.
Yeah, he was such a liability in that game. I think it was towards the end of the second half when he put it out for a corner with a slide tackle, and when you just see him going down, you're just thinking he's going to give away a penalty here.
Yeah.
Just knowing how that game had gone for him.
Yeah, the game kind of changed a bit though, because we were still second best to start the second half, but then like 10 minutes into the second half, Roof went off and Size came on.
Oh, he's so good.
Yeah.
He's so good.
I'm trying I didn't actually put this in the notes. This is the game where Roof had like 11 touches of the ball total, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't remember a single thing Roof did. He was very isolated. Didn't get into it at all.
Yeah, but when Size came on, it just completely changed the game. Every single player in the Leeds shirt got better. Even like Debok didn't. It's just because of the way he picks up the ball and turns to go at people. It just drives the whole team forward, and it seems to give everyone so much more confidence that everyone plays better.
Yeah, it was interesting because last night I was reading. There was an article from Phil Hay about Pablo Hernandez, and one of the bits it said in there is like two Spanish creative midfielders, creating a lot of chances, getting a few goals. The difference being that Saez is built more to protect himself, and he gives you that more drive forward than Hernandez does. Hernandez is the sort of player that will get the ball, take it forward a little bit, and then that's when he's looking to pass. Whereas you just look at the our second with Saez just getting it and just driving forward. It was he charged out of that wall, picked up the ball, rode through one tackle, and played a brilliant pass. And it just summed him up as a player as to what he can do. And at this level, he's lethal. And when you go 6 games without seeing him, and then he comes in and turns in a performance like that off the bench, you just appreciate how good he is.
Yeah, he's brilliant. He obviously said about his assist, beating 2 great football. Alioski with goal, it was nice to see him get one. The first attempt was terrible.
It was Billy Painter-esque. He was going through, go on, put it in a corner, he's put it straight at the keeper.
Yeah. But it's in fairness to him, it was a good reaction to head it in.
That was Becchio-esque.
Yeah. No, it would have had to have been a lot lower to be Becchio-esque. It's only a Becchio header if it's shin high.
Yeah, that breakaway was so nice. And when you've got a couple of players like Alioski and Saez that can do that, then it's just something you don't get too often in the Championship. The players of that quality that'll break forward with speed. Yeah, if we could just back them up a little bit more, it'd be great. Yeah, it was a good little touch from Phillips as well to find Saez in the build-up. But there's something about Alioski. He's totally different when Saez is on the pitch. It's like his best friend's playing with him. Yeah, well, I was just going to say, I wonder if it's like Bartley and Ayling. Yeah, it's interesting. Alioski had that really good vein of form around the Middlesbrough game, because I think that's when he scored in about, was it four goals in 5 games or something like that. And then since about the turn of the year, not just him, obviously with the form we've been in, but he's kind of dropped off a little bit. And I don't know, again, like you say, having someone like Saez in the team just seemed to raise everyone, and hopefully if he's in the team and Alioski can raise his game to try and match that as well, then I'm all for it. Yeah. Unfortunately, though, we couldn't hang on. I think it was about 6 minutes after I messaged you saying, please hang on. Really shit goal to give away at the end. It's heartbreaking. That's the best way I could describe it. We've had a few of them this season. And it's one of those, you fully know that with a team like that Derby are going to push on and they're going to put us under a lot of pressure. And you start looking at that back line, you go, Cooper and Debok. And for the most part, they held out, and we rode our luck at times. The amount of chances that I think it was Nugent wasted was just impressive. At the same, it was one of those where, realistically looking at the game, if you'd have said it would have finished 2-2, you'd kind of have to think, yeah, fair enough. But just for it to be that late it's just heartbreaking. Yeah. The annoying thing is in the build-up, if Wiedwald shouts for the ball, then Cooper can just leave it to go through to him, and we never give away that corner in the first place. Yeah. But even after that, I mean, it's just a looping, recycled ball back into the box, and no one deals with it. There's like 3 or 4 players. Like Janssen doesn't win the first ball, but he's under a lot of pressure, and then it bounces like twice in the box, but no one gets near it. And trust it to be the guy who was at Huddersfield that scores as well. Yeah, it's such a horrible way when you watch a game like that, where for the most part, we're under the cosh against a good team, we somehow find ourselves 2-1 in front, and we just can't hold on to it. Yeah, but luckily the next game, which was a much worse game, but we got 3 points, so it was much better. Yeah, 1-0 win over Brentford. Liam Cooper with goal from a Alioski free kick.
he's been due one, hasn't he? Because he's missed a few this season.
I was just thinking that the amount of chances I can think of him wasting from 2 yards out, where he somehow managed to put it over or put it wide, and then a header from 12 yards?
Yeah, well, really good header. Really good header.
Yeah, perfect. There's not many other places you could have put it that would have beaten the keeper. Yeah, it was a brilliant header. Just makes you just annoying that he hasn't already got 4 or 5 this season.
Yeah, it would have been nice, but we were just, even though it wasn't much of a game, everywhere except for I don't think the centre mids did much really. Who would be playing this one? It was Vieira and Phillips, wasn't it, for this one? Or Vieira came on. Vieira came on. I'm misremembering. It's O'Kane and Phillips. Vieira came on in the last minute.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just tiredness kicking in due to work. But no, they were both just out. The game kind of passed the central midfield by a little bit. But we were massively improved at the back. Janssen and Cooper were both solid. Anita was in at left back for De Bock, who didn't even met the bench, but apparently that's because we needed Denton, because we needed to have enough English players. So that's the reason why, although I would pick Denton ahead of De Bock anyway. But yeah, while Anita may not be amazing at left back, compared to De Bock, he was Paolo Maldini. We were pretty solid defensively, apart from that one really good save that Wiedwald had to make from Egan, from that left foot volley from edge of box. Apart from that, they didn't actually look like scoring.
Yeah, we seem to be solid enough, and I suppose when you're going for a few games without a win, then that is these sort of games that if you couldn't come out with it with a win, where you're not particularly great. I mean, we created a few chances. Phillips went through, I think, in the second half, and I think the one I saw, because I only saw the highlights, but when Lasoga beat about 2 defenders, went round the keeper, and they had about 3 men on the line to keep it out. But that was a good chance. Very Viduka-esque, the way he went through there once he was in the area, just kind of dancing around them.
I was going to say, the way that he turned, it was kind of like, that Ibrahimovic goal for Ajax. Never actually got up to speed, just all turns and dragbacks.
Yeah, he just, you've seen the keepers diving at his feet, he's gone around him, 2 defenders sliding in, he's beaten them, and just one of those. It is a shame that they got someone back, because that would have been a nice goal. But again, I think that kind of shows the confidence he's built up a bit now. And I think just watching the way he plays, I think he's enjoying his football more than he was a couple of months ago.
Yeah, he definitely seems to be.
Just going back to the Derby game, he had a cracking battle with Richard Keogh going on.
Yeah, Richard Keogh with his eyes.
He just looks permanently angry at things. It just glares at you. Yeah, they had a good running battle. One of those things where I wouldn't have wanted to be on the receiving end of some of Richard Keogh's challenges, but as a spectator, it was interesting to watch those two.
Yeah. Well, for the Derby game, only Connie got something because he had a draw. We both had us getting beat, but we all had us beating Brentford. None of us had correct score. So unfortunately, KC, you've dropped back to bottom. Me 57, Connie 48, KC 46.
It's just going to be like that newfangled European tournament where I get relegated and I have to... Moldova are going to get moved up and then get relegated again the next year.
Yeah, but then you've got an easier group, and if you win that, you might get into the podcasting championships.
Oh, there we go.
So you never know. Well, there hasn't been that much news in the last week or so. Hernandez has come out and basically said that he wants a new contract. So, provided it's not ridiculous money, give him one.
Yeah, I think it's one of those that as long as we can come to a compromise, essentially just, a lower basic wage, pay him more when he plays. With the way he's been playing this year, and he's kind of proved it in these games that he's been in for Saiz, he definitely deserves another year. Yeah,
without a doubt. Yeah. The other thing was the club had a bit of a Q&A session. Raduzani confirmed what everyone had kind of figured out, that Green wanted to be number one, and once he couldn't, he wanted to go have more money if he's not going to be number one, which is fair enough, I suppose, really.
Yeah, and I suppose with someone like Green as well, for us, he would have been on half decent money.
Yeah.
And you don't blame someone at that age. If he's going to be in the Championship, then he'd had a season as number one. We were behind him at that point as well. He, especially second half of the season, he had a very good run. But yeah, if he's not going to feature, then he may as well go to a Premier League club and get paid more.
Yeah. I mean, I wish he was still here because he'd definitely get in ahead of Eadvaldo Lonergan. But
did Radrazani or Orta explain what they think about the pedestrianisation of Norwich Town Centre?
He said he's a bit worried that people forget that people need access to Dixon's, I believe.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
That's good. It's good.
Orta also said that Heckingbottom has the power to say yes or no to transfers, which is what they said about Christensen as well. And he said something that I just can't. I find it very hard to believe. He said in 15 years he's never signed a player without the okay from the manager. Now that depends what he means by okay, because it's sort of like, consent is a bit of a dodgy.
Here's your left back. You wanted a left back, didn't you? Lawrence de Box here. We can't send him back. Do you want him?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. What sort of yes was this?
You can't say no. He stood right behind me.
Yeah. Yes. This is Lawrence. Do you want him?
Could send him back on a plane. I mean, we'll have to pay for him, and I've lost the receipt. Are you sure you want me to send him back? If I just put him in the squad, it'd be fine. Coincidentally, on my Football Manager save in the third season, I was had to sell Gaetano. Unfortunately, he's just not up to the Premier League. And he went to Bâle and he moved on exactly the same day as Lawrence de Bock joined them. So that's their fullback situation sorted.
Yeah, all done.
Bâle.
Yeah. They also said that us signing Lasogga is a possibility, which is, I think, a clever way of saying if he's willing to drop 30 grand a week in wages.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, I think that was one of those, looking at the way he was talking, looking at the way the club have been talking about it, I think it is definitely something that they want to happen. Like you say, if we can get his wages down, then I think it's something that the club want. I don't think we're like the League One days or even Chilino's first season in the Championship when we're just going to get everyone in on loan and hope for the best. I think some thought went into getting Lasogga in as to, this is the style we want to play. He's the man that will suit that style. And if this works out, then we will try and make this permanent. And again, as much as a bad patch as he's gone through, his minutes per goal ratio is still, I think it's now dropped to third best in the league, but still, you're not going to complain about that.
No, I think it was third before the Brentford game, so he may have gone down again. But he's got a really good record when he actually plays and he's fit.
Yeah.
They were asked about Size and Janssen as well. Because Lasogga's got one more year, hasn't he, at Hamburg? But they're bottom at Bundesliga.
Yeah, we were talking about this last time, weren't we? If they were to go down, then he might be someone they'd want to try and keep hold of.
Yeah, it's sort of a bit of a weird one where if they go down, they'll want him but might not be able to afford him, and if they stay up, they probably don't want him. So either way, he's probably leaving. I did see some German sports journalists getting retweeted saying that he expects Lasogga to be in England next season, but there's also some saying that it won't be to us, and it'll be to someone who's a bit more competitive financially.
Aston Villa.
Yeah. Well, actually, or whoever the next team is to do a Birmingham.
Yeah, true.
Have you seen that thing going around Twitter with their wages from their summer dealings?
No.
Oh, I've got it on my phone here. I screenshotted it earlier. I'm glad I remembered to come up. You know what, we were wondering why didn't we sign Stockdale?
Yeah.
40 grand a week.
Jesus.
Yeah. Maxime Collan from Brentford, 3 million, 20 grand a week.
You'd think they'd have learned after their last few years.
Yeah. Like, this goes longer. Like, there's a few. Carl Jenkinson on loan from Arsenal, they're paying 35 a week. Harley Dean, 2 million, 20 grand a week. Roberts, 3 million, 25 grand a week. And Doy is 35 grand a week, apparently.
It's just insane.
Gardner, 25. Jeremy Bogle on loan from Chelsea's 15. Hotter, 6 million and 45 grand a week. And Sam Gallagher is apparently a loan with a view to 3 million, and that's 30 grand a week as well.
That's just insane what they're paying at the moment.
Yeah, so I mean, it sounds like they're going to fall foul of FFP as well. Now,
I was going to say, I've just got the league table up now, and I know where are they? 22nd.
Yeah, I mean,
that's where that's getting them. But that's what happens when you hire Harry Redknapp.
Yep. No one was surprised. It's exactly what he does, isn't it? I mean, admittedly, it's not technically his fault. It's the board's fault if they gave him the money.
It's the Peter Ridsdale, David O'Leary thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
If he asks for the players and they keep saying yes.
Yeah.
Someone at some point's got to go, do we really need to spend this much money? Yes. All right, then fair enough.
Speaking of big contract offers, they were asked about keeping Size and Janssen. And the club said, well, they said they've got plenty of time on the contract, but if any player wants to leave, it's hard to keep them, citing Chris Wood as an example. Which a lot of people got a bit bent out of shape on, but they can't say we are 100% not selling them. Because then if someone comes in with something ridiculous, they look far worse than if they said, well, maybe.
Yeah, I think we've got to expect that while we're in the Championship and while we're working under a certain budget, then if there is a certain level of interest in players, then we do kind of still have to entertain these offers. And I think, and now I kind of in the same sense as what Heckingbottom said with his contract, when he just said, it's only worth the compensation. With players, it is essentially just that guarantee. You don't necessarily expect the players to stay till 2021 or 2022 that they've all signed up for, but it's that guarantee that at least when they go, we should get a decent payout for them.
Yeah, Radrizzani also said that he spent 20 million on transfers total, which I didn't add up, but sounds somewhat close to right. And he said wage bill's up 7, which he's stuck to from before. But one thing that came out that I didn't know is that the Wood fee is in instalments over 3 years. Yeah,
that seemed like a long time.
Yeah, it surprised me. I mean, if it had been, because it was 15, if it had been 7.5 up front, 7.5 end at season, I could have maybe understood that, but 3 instalments seems like a while.
Yeah, 3. I wonder if that's a slip-up or... And I know if it's 3 installments over a year or something like that, but I say normally 2 years at a push you kind of get for some installments. That just seems a fair while.
Yeah, it seems odd. By the way, did you see all the Steve Evans stuff?
I did see the Steve Evans stuff. It was quite funny because I think one of the first tweets I came across was someone saying about 2 days before going, Steve Evans is going to be joining Peterborough, mark my words. And it was a load of Mansfield fans going, no, he wouldn't do that at this time of the season. He wouldn't leave now. And then you're just like, oh, he's gone.
Yeah, it was a weird one in that, because he resigned. And, well, on the day he resigned, and then the next day was confirmed as Peterborough manager. Which I'm fairly sure, under law, then that they would definitely have a tapping up case, and that if you resign for another job, unless they've been really weird about it at Mansfield and just gone, okay, fine, I'm sure that there's still due compensation.
Yeah, it was very dodgy. Apparently he's from round there.
Oh, he is definitely from round there.
That's where he lives now.
Yeah, he apparently lives a couple of miles from ground. He used to manage a non-league club there and stuff.
Yeah. So when I read that, I went, oh, that kind of makes sense. But yeah, it was, as best I can tell, I've not had the best of luck with job interviews. Having to pay for background checks and stuff like that. But normally you don't leave a job and then happen across an interview that same day to be hired the next day. But maybe that's just me.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. Have you seen his excuse today?
No.
Right, he says that he put in his resignation because he was going to look at a job outside of the UK. So they accepted resignation. And then he had a day or two until he was going to this place outside the UK. So he rung up Barry Fry to get a couple of tickets to Peterborough game. And he said, oh, well, we've sacked as manager. And then Darren McAnthony called him. And then, out of nowhere, he's got the job.
Still very coincidental.
Yeah, it's a lot of coincidence. And this is in no way going to defame him in the eyes of right-minded people, so it's not slander. A man who's not known for his honesty.
Yeah. Okay, friend of the podcast, Mark Young, who gets pretty much as many mentions as Click does at this point. Not a fan at all after, was it Bradford's encounters with Fleetwood.
Yeah, wasn't there a game between them where they had like 3 men sent off each in a brawl?
I was like after the game as well.
Yeah. Speaking of your boy, they won again at weekend, didn't they?
Yeah, he's getting. I'm quite happy for him. At least he's getting some regular game time in. I did notice though, from going through Instagram, every time the club posts something or one of the players posts something, Click is like the first person listed as liking that picture.
Yeah, maybe he thinks he's... I mean, he did say that the only reason why it didn't work out is because him and TC did not get on.
Yeah.
So maybe he'll be back next season and raring to go, we'll see.
Hopefully. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think, in an ideal world, we all kind of want to see Vieira and Phillips strike up a magical partnership that will last their whole career and never see them leave. But you see them play together at times, and you do think, it's a bit lightweight. This.
I don't think either. The only one that's an automatic choice in central midfield is Forshaw.
Yeah,
who I'm getting to be a bigger fan of by the day.
I mean, just from the bits I've seen of him, what was the? I'm trying to think what the game was I saw. But what was the game before Derby? Completely forgotten.
The one before Derby, was that the 2-2 with Bristol City?
Yeah, that was it. When I got to see that, and I'm just watching Forshaw, just thinking he is a quality player.
Yeah, he's great. There's been one more bit of news. Villa and Leeds in April has been moved to Friday, April 13th. And Phil Hay tweeted that that's the 19th game of the season that's been moved for Sky.
Jeez,
by that point, we'll be on 41 games. So we'll be getting not far off 1 in 2 of his games moved this season.
It's scandalous, and again, it's one of those things that you look at, and Sky TV, just from Sky's perspective, I understand why they do it, but Jesus, it's just happening far too much.
Yeah, I mean, it really is pretty much constant, isn't it? Now
I know no one wants to go to Birmingham at any point, but who wants to go to Birmingham on a Friday night?
Yeah.
No one.
I haven't actually checked if this is right, but I saw a couple of people tweet it, so I think it must be right, because it literally happened when I was on my way to record that I saw it. Apparently, we're also away on the Tuesday night before that. So the people that go every game have got an away trip Tuesday night and away trip Friday night, which is... It's a lot for in 1 week. It's a lot of money to be shelling out and stuff.
Yeah.
Especially if they're the people that book stuff early.
This is it, though, and I'm sure Sky and the Football League can happily hide behind their self-made rules of, oh, well, we did it within the time frame that we allotted. And you're like, oh, well done, you followed your own rules. Good job, guys. Don't worry about the people who in September will have booked hotels or, will have booked time off or something like that. But no, don't you worry about that.
Yeah. Well,
who'd have thought you'd want to put Leeds versus Villa, 2 former Premier League teams? Who would have thought at the start of the season Sky would want to put those 2 teams on TV?
Yeah, it's annoying. And speaking of games being moved by Sky, because this one will be a much shorter podcast than normal. Middlesbrough away tomorrow night as we're recording. It's looking about 50-50 at best that the game's actually on. From everything that I've seen, I'm thinking it probably won't be. The pitch will be fine, but I can't see the health and safety people clearing it.
Yeah, I think at this point, the bigger concern is the land around the stadium, isn't it? I know.
And apparently all the roads on the drive up, there's been loads of accidents today and stuff, and they're expecting more snow overnight.
Yeah, that'd be a shame, but, obviously you want to do whatever's the safest thing. I've seen a few people today saying that, the M62 and the M6 are still fairly treacherous as well, and I've just seen pictures of what's been going on over there, but it looks for us anyway, it looks pretty heavy.
Yeah, I know, Scandinavians and Canadians and stuff are looking at us like, what the hell? That's not even snow.
I have to dig myself out of my house every day and I still get to work.
But I say we just don't deal with it very well over here. But we'll preview it as if it's going to happen. They're 8th in league, 52 from 34, so pretty tight in league. It'd be a really good one to get a result in. Their last 5, they drew 3-3 at Sunderland, 3-1 win v Hull. lost 1-0 at Cardiff, beat Reading 2-1, lost 1-0 at Norwich. So they're in kind of average form. Not particularly great. Forshaw will be back after it because he missed last game for his son being born, which is fair enough.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Yeah, they can't all just be like Lasogga.
The funny thing was, I was listening to, I think it was a Square Ball podcast, and they were talking about the Cardiff game, which is, that was the game when he decided not to go home for the birth of his child, and we put him on the bench.
Yeah. And played awful.
He's like, could have seen the birth of my first child, but no.
Yeah, but
I was committed to this.
Yeah. There's a bit less straightforward news than last time because the press conference got cancelled for Snow as well. But the thing that's come out is that Hernandez and Roof are both struggling. One of those is a miss.
I was going to say, I mean, with Hernandez, it's not entirely correct. It was just like a fairly straightforward pass, wasn't it? After during the Derby game, and he knew instantly.
Yeah, he knew something.
I think you saw him give his hamstring a bit of a squeeze, and then just said, "No, get me off." And it's a shame given how he's played over the last few weeks, but I think this might be the sort of game where you'd want Saiz in ahead of him anyway. So hopefully, it'd be good for him to have maybe a couple of weeks off. Roof, like you say, one of them's a miss.
Yeah, Roof's really not in good form, but it's weird because he looks better when he comes off bench anyway. Yeah,
he just adds that bit of pace, and I think in games when when we're against better teams, it's not bad having Ekuban up there with Lasogga because he's going to be that bit more physical than Roof can be. He can hold the ball up a bit more, and he's going to do some of the legwork that you don't get from Lasogga. And yes, Roof will chase things down, but he's not that physical presence you want up there. And especially when you're playing away, he's a good player to have for these sort of games, I think, is Ekuban.
Yeah. Well, I don't think much will change from our point of view from last game, just Forshaw in for O'Kane, I would have thought.
Yeah, I can't see too many changes being made. Forshaw definitely, and then I think with the form our central midfielders are in, you could pretty much spin the wheel at this point between O'Kane, Phillips, and Vieira.
Yeah, I think lately, Phillips has, of those three, I think Phillips has looked the best of them lately because Vieira's, one, doesn't look fit, and two, is wildly out of form. So.
Yeah, and I just remember watching, again, go back to the Bristol City game, and I did think when O'Kane and Forshaw were playing together that I think they were a bit too similar for my liking.
Yeah. As for them, they've still got a really good squad, which they should do. They spent a shitload of money in summer. But yeah, Darren Randolph's decent keeper. Defenders Ryan Shotton. Ryan Shotton's a bit of a worry because he's got a massive long throw.
Oh God.
Because he was the one that took over for Delap at Stoke under Pulis.
Oh yes, I'd forgotten about his time at Stoke.
If he's playing, so I bet that he'll start because they'll have seen us defending him against Bristol City and gone, right, we'll get these chucked in. Daniel Ayala at back's decent. They've managed to keep hold of Ben Gibson all season, which if the chairman wasn't his uncle, they'd have no chance. He'd have been away to Premier League. George Friend at left back.
He's the one to attack. We've got to get at him. He fell to pieces at Ellen Road fairly quickly.
Yeah.
I think if I remember rightly, I'm trying to think. It would have been. I think he was against Alioski. I think we had. If I remember rightly, Alioski played on the right that day.
Yeah.
I've seemed to remember Hernandez being on the left and Saiz in the middle. I think it was Alioski that tore him a new one.
In midfield, one that I'd missed completely, actually. I didn't realise. They've got Mohamed Besic on loan from Everton.
That's not a bad signing.
No, I really rated it, but it depends what he's like. He's had 2 really serious injuries now, so I don't know if he'll be the same player. Yeah. But I always like the look of him. He always threw in. I mean, he's one of them that's always likely to pick up a card because he does absolutely throw himself into tackles, but... Yeah, him, Grant Ledbetter's good, and then obviously we've got Clayton and Howson.
Yes, the dream.
Yeah, I expected Howson to do a bit more this season, actually.
I mean, I think for what was spent, and you can say this over so many years for Middlesbrough, they have been disappointing, which is obviously why they felt it so easy to get rid of Gary Monk as well as him being a snake.
Yeah.
He was an underperforming snake.
Do you think he'll get on with Steve Evans?
Probably. Gary, I've got some investment ideas for you. I don't know if I want to be that much of a friend, Steve.
Other option in centre mid, we've got loads of centre mids. We've got Lewis Baker on loan from Chelsea as well, and he's good.
Their midfield list it's like ours but better.
Yeah. Then we've got Downing, who, although he's not what he was, he's still useful. And they're going to have Adama Traore available because somehow his red card's been rescinded. Have you seen that yet?
Yeah, I was watching the video this morning and I found it really confusing. And I actually saw what can only be described as an entirely reasonable discussion between a Leeds fan and a Middlesbrough fan about it, with the Leeds fan saying, I have no idea how this suspension has been overturned. And allegedly, Traore was poked in the eye, which caused that reaction. But he still pushes him in the face.
Yeah, by the rules, if that gets proven by the film, that just means the other guy gets banned as well. It doesn't rescind the first one.
If nothing else, I was looking at that thinking, well, it's definitely, it looked a bit soft still, the way the defender went down. But he just went, well, O'Kane just served 4 games for this. It seems to be about the same. I'm very surprised it got lifted.
Yeah, it was a weird one. And the idea of him running at Anita does scare me a little bit.
Yeah, I think he didn't get into the game too much at Ellen Road, but when he did, he caused some trouble. Hernandez did an all right job just trying to hold him up a bit. And by that, I mean stand in front of him. So, yeah, hopefully having someone like Dallas in the team might be quite good to help out a bit more. He's a little bit more defensive minded than someone like Hernandez.
Yeah, well, you would think we'd have that on both sides because I would assume it'll be Dallas and Alioski out wide. Did you see that stat, by the way, that I think Alioski has made more tackles than anyone else in the Championship this season? I'm
impressed by that. I think it was quite good watching the Brentford highlights. One of the things that leads up to one of our chances, Alioski putting in a slide tackle. I was like, oh, well played, Alioski.
I know you didn't see the full 90 minutes, but I did. He made loads. It was like 8 or 9 challenges for most of anyone on the pitch.
Yeah,
it was my man. It was my man at matching play ratings. He just edged out Cooper.
And I don't know why it surprises me that much because I'm fully aware that he plays as a wing back for Macedonia, so I know he can do something of a defensive job, and I've seen him tracking back before with Leeds as well. I'm just surprised it is that high.
Yeah, it's very. I'm not surprised that it's loads. I wouldn't have been shocked if they'd have said the highest at Leeds.
I've seen plenty of players not putting tackles in for Leeds this season.
Yeah, but highest in the league really surprised me. And then up front, they've lost one of them. Martin Brathwaite have spent 7 million on his back on loan in France already, but they've still got a Sambalonga who's got 12 this season. But for 15 million, and he's played pretty much every game. Well, no, he's missed a few. He's had a few, but they would have been expecting better than that for their investment.
Was his goal against us? Was that a penalty?
Yeah. It was their penalty was the one, where Ayala threw Luke Ayling to the floor and then Ayling grabbed his leg. And Ayling grabbed his leg and he went down and the linesman gave it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that one.
I'd forgotten about that.
They've also got Patrick Bamford and Rudy Gestede.
That man has had a lot of championship clubs now.
Yeah. Gestede's, he's a bit of a... He's just a big unit. Target up front, isn't he? But that's the sort of thing we struggle to defend against a lot. Bamford's decent when he's in form.
It's the only thing when you see a list of strikers like that and you just think, don't you just play one up front anyway?
Yeah.
I know Gestede is very much the, right, 15 minutes to go, we need something, get up there, big man.
Yeah.
I will say I don't know anything about Jack Harrison.
Well, I was hoping that if anyone did, it'd be you, to be honest. Man City signed him from New York City in January.
Oh, wow.
He's an England under-21 international. I have seen that before. I have seen him play a couple of times. He looked really good in MLS. And Man City signed him from New York City, which I'm sure was a very easy deal to do.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Yeah, and they sent him straight out on loan to Middlesbrough.
1996 he was born. Jesus, he's young.
You say that, Jesus, he's young. 1996, it's 2018. He's depending on when his birthday is, he's 21 or 22.
I just get depressed.
Yeah. Just think there are 18-year-olds that can drink.
Let's have a look. There
are 4-year-olds that can drink as well. One of the worst, shut up.
He went through Liverpool's and Scum's academy, and then apparently spent a couple of years out and went to Manhattan Soccer Club. He moved to the States at 14, and in 2015, Harrison was the Gatorade National Player of the Year for high school soccer. Yes, what an American award.
Yeah.
New York City, 14 goals in 56 appearances, 2 under-21 caps. I can't say I've seen much of him.
Right.
But what was it? Last year in the MLS, 10 goals in 34.
Yeah, that's it. He's more of a off the front and a wide player than he is an out-and-out striker, so that's not bad numbers.
Personal life. Harrison earned his US green card in March 2017. That is all that is in that section.
Fair enough.
I'm in no way jealous.
Yeah. Well, if it happens, because we're still waiting on the possibility of it being called off, what do you reckon?
Let's have a look. They're 8th, aren't they? They're still pushing for that playoff spot. We're all basically pushing for 6th now, aren't we? Fulham pulled away in 5th.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty much from... You could rope Ipswich into this at 13th. So from 13th to 6th, we're all competing for one playoff spot. I'm going to say we win 1-0.
Looking at my phone, that's what Connie says as well.
Fair enough.
And I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw for me.
That seems entirely reasonable.
Yeah. Next one, bit tougher. Wolves at home.
Not fancying this one, if I'm being honest.
No. I mean, they're actually... It almost worries me more that they haven't won in the last 3.
Just means we're going to get smashed.
So they've had their little blip. They beat Sheffield United 3-0 and QPR 2, and then last 3, 1-1 at Preston, 2-2 with Norwich, and lost 2-0 at Fulham. So they've done a bit. But I mean, obviously, John Ruddy in goal, who's a great keeper, but here's another one who'll be on massive wages.
Yeah.
They've got decent defenders. We mentioned it last time we played him. I can't believe Connor Cody's turned into such a good centre-back.
Yeah. He just looks so comfortable.
Yeah.
It seems to be... I like how you can kind of look through the list and go, as you go further up the field, the names transform from English to vaguely Portuguese and Brazilian.
Yeah, it just gets scary for forward you go. I mean, obviously, at back, Ryan Bennett's decent, Willie Bolly's good. That Barry Douglas that's been playing left wing back's been brilliant all season.
Yeah, we said it is ridiculous for a man to be called Barry Douglas to be as good as he is.
Yeah. And then in midfield...
You don't get many Barrys anymore, do you?
No, not all that many. Midfield, Romain Saiz is good. Alfred Ndiaye's a bit of a powerhouse. Ruben Neves, who we talked about at length last time, should be at a top 4, top 6 at worst Premier League club. And then they've got that Morgan Gibbs-White that's coming through that played in under-17s World Cup. But then it's the forwards and wingers that are scary. Leo Bonatini, he's got 12 this season. Hotter's also got 12. And then after that, we've got Ivan Cavallero, Douglas Costa. And you thought, going in, Jesus, that's a really ridiculous forward line. So then on the back end of transfer window, they signed Benik Afobe as well. I think it's loan with view to a permanent, but... Unless
they're going with my classic Football Manager 3-2-5 formation. You just look at that and you go, you don't even need that many strikers.
They are doing that 5-2-3 that Conte sort of plays. 3 centre-backs, wing-backs, 2 centre-mids, and then 3 up front.
It's an unbelievable squad they've put together.
Yeah,
and I know when you've got... It's easy to say when you've got the money that they do, but...
And as much as the money, the connections.
Yes. It's unbelievable, and the only thing that surprises me at this point is that they're still... I say only... they're only 6 points ahead of Cardiff, who are still the worst team, or one of the worst teams I've seen.
Yeah, they're weird out there. I mean, they've beat us 3-1 and 4-1 this season, and in neither game have I thought they looked a good side.
I've never seen them look good. And any chance I can, any chance I get to take a bit of a pop at Warnock, I'll happily take it. But it is one of the worst teams I've ever seen that is second in the table.
Yeah. Well, obviously, Wolves are top, 73 from 34. It's kind of a weird game because this party, with it being at home, wants to be optimistic. Connie's gone for 1-1. I would
bloody hell, that's optimistic.
I would love us to get something from this, but I just can't say it. I just think they're too good. I think we'll score. I'll say 3-1 Wolves.
I'm going to go 2-0 Wolves.
Yeah, it's fair enough. They're a really good side. I ain't worrying about if we get beat by them, and if we get something, brilliant.
Yeah.
And lastly,
that's another one on TV as well, isn't it?
That's nice. That's on TV. Borough is on TV on Friday. Wolves on Saturday, and then back to an actual Saturday 3:00 game. Reading away, which is on the Saturday the 10th. They're 18th in league, 34 from 34. Stam's just about hanging on.
Still passing it across that back line though, backwards and forwards, left to right, centre mid. No, drop it back again. Got to wait for those spaces, boys.
Yeah, as you'd expect for a team down there, they're not in best of form. They haven't won in the last 5. They beat Burton before this, but last 5 lost 3-1 against Sheffield United, 3-3 with Derby, 1-1 at Forest. I've just realised I'm lying about no wins in 5. That's just tiredness kicking in. They beat Reading 2-1 in the middle of this run.
Hang on. Do you just say they beat Reading?
Yep.
You are tired.
I am tired. We'll leave all this in. I am properly tired, apparently. I can tell you that they lost 2-0 at Millwall. I'm going to have to look up who the fuck I meant.
Someone.
Because I've definitely on my notes written that they won 2-1 against Reading.
Is this like a French Civil War type thing? They played themselves and lost.
It's very possible.
I just look at the table. I mean, they still need a few wins to kind of get out of that relegation battle. I know they're 18th, but
you know what? I don't need to look at my phone because the fourth game in the Middlesbrough run is them beating Reading 2-1.
Oh, there you go.
That's what it is. They lost 2-1 to Borough.
Copy and paste.
I won't mind. I didn't. I was just apparently really tired when I wrote it. But yeah, so it really was no wins in 5. It's just that my notes were all over the shop. Yeah, they don't have much of a squad really. I mean, they've got Chris Gunter, who I hate. I've always hated Chris Gunter. He's a right dirty bastard.
They've got to cut. I've always liked Gareth McCleary, but at the same time, I'm well aware he's nothing special. Was it Gareth McCleary that kept scoring belters against us, like when he was at Forest? Yeah, well, he got 4 in that 7-3 game, didn't he? Yeah, 10-goal Tuesday. Yeah, again, Mo Barrow, he's a bit quick. Yeah, he's a bit of a worry. I mean, we've got Liam Moore at back. He's apparently been good all season. He's been linked to moves back to Premier League. He's another one. He's a good athlete for a centre half, big, strong, quick. So which always bodes well in this division. He's like the opposite of Paul McShane, who they also have. Yeah. Chris Martin there, big wages. Yeah, like 30 grand a week? Yeah. That we apparently turned down. They've got a couple of good midfielders. That John Swift is pretty decent. That Liam Kelly is that young one, isn't he, that's quite good. Yeah, I just realised I googled Chris Martin without putting footballer in. So I can give you some stats on Coldplay about him if you like. There we go, footballer. I just wanted to see if he's done anything since he got there. They've got Bakuna as well, and he's not that great, but his set pieces are pretty good, which always scares me. Yeah. That Bod Varson's got a few this season as well, I think. He's got like 5 or 6. I didn't mind him. He looked okay. Nothing spectacular, but Chris Martin's season stat, he's got 2 goals this season. Literally 2. That's encompassing the whole season. Yeah, well, I think is that one for each club. I think so. Yeah. Sky weren't nice enough to break it down that well, but yeah. Well, I'm a lot more confident about this one, even though it's away from home. I think we'll win this one, and I think we'll win it 2-0. We seem to have very mixed memories of there, because I remember Luke Murphy leading the charge in a win there.
Yeah, he scored a goal from from a long way out, didn't he?
Yeah. And then I also have memories of Zach Thompson getting sent off and Brown and Pugh going around trying to maim everyone. Was it Karachan when his sock was ripped and he was showing the referee? And
yeah,
I think that was from Danny Pugh's tackle.
Yeah, it was Michael Brown did that clearance, didn't he, and then followed through with a scissor waist-high tackle.
Oh, Brownie.
I've just checked. Connie's gone for 2-0 as well.
All right, fair enough. I'll go for a 2-1 win.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, obviously this one was always going to be a bit curtailed. Only two of us via Skype, and not that much news has happened.
Oh, we still managed to drag it out for an hour.
Yeah, well, probably not far off. We needed to get it out though before the Middlesbrough game. So yeah. Unless you've got out to add, Casey?
No, I just really hope that the game's on tomorrow so I can go out and have fish and chips for lunch.
Fish and chips and, well, our kick-off time, that'll work out about late for you, won't it? Because it's 8 hours.
Yeah, it's a lovely, it'll be, is it 11:45? Is it 7:45 or 8, either way?
Either way, but I think it's 7:45. I haven't actually written that down, but I think it's 7:45.
Yeah, happy days. I'm not working until the afternoon, so I can go out, have a fish and chips, a nice pint of cider, and watch the game, then roll into work.
Yeah, well, that's the way to do it. But yeah,
it's living the dream.
Yeah, well, that'll do us for a slightly curtailed episode 19 of the Mighty Whites podcast. We're at Mighty Whites Pod on Twitter. We're at mightywhitespodcast.com. The podcast goes up on Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube, anything that's attached in any way to iTunes comes through the website. So it should show up on nearly every podcast player you'll get. The stuff we write goes up on Through It All Together, which is at THRU, it's all LUFC. We should be back up to a full complement for the next one, which will be shortly after the Reading game. But thanks very much for listening. I've been Jack. Bye.
I've been Casey. I'll see you later.
Are you sure you're not Connie this time?
Well, I have my moments.
Hey, you on your best day, isn't Connie?
That's a fair point.
Yeah. Well, thanks very much for listening. See ya.
Yep.